Welcome, Horror Fam, HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Duff, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Jess and Jonathan. What's going on, guys?
Just some post-apocalyptic shit. And
Yeah.
also a house announcement.
And also another house announcement.
And tickets. And merch.
Lots of stuff. There hasn't been this much news in a while, actually.
No, this is really nice. I'm very excited about this episode now. Wow, look at that.
Oh, look
now
at
I'm
us.
happy to be with you. Before, not so much.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Too much togetherness this week, honestly.
That's true. Seen you guys too much. Get out of here. But before we get into any of that, check us out on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365. Our TikTok is HHN365pod. We have a great Discord community. We talk about HHN year-round, and obviously the talk is very, very consistent right now. So if you want to join that, link is in the description for you. We have a merch shop at HHN365.com. And our voicemail is 407-906-4134. And on today's show, we're obviously talking about all the announcements we just hinted at. And by hinted at, I mean we said blatantly. So, yeah, there's that. A couple things before we do get into all that news. Some housekeeping on our end. We keep the YouTube lives going. If you don't join us every Tuesday, where are you at? And if you're not, it's up right now for you to go watch anyways. So, enjoy. Also, big news. You guys know Kevin. We talk about Kevin a lot. He has theories. He provides us with photos. He's no longer just our friend Kevin. He is now Kevin, the Hollywood correspondent for HHN 365.
Woo.
Woo, 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 woo.
Every time you say it, Duff, it sounds like you are hard launching a relationship, and I'm obsessed.
I mean, we kind of are in a way,
I mean,
right?
it is. It's a big deal.
He now has a new relationship with 365.
Wow. We're still going to keep beefing over the Jurassic World facade, though, through Jonathan.
As you
Keep
should.
That's true. Both different
Beefing
theories.
is what we do.
Yeah.
It's all we do.
True.
Both different theories, and I can't wait to find out who's right.
Mm-hmm. And something special about Kevin not being our Hollywood correspondent is not only is Kevin going to still be providing pictures for us, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. But also, if you are a member of the Discord server, and if you're not, you should be. Whenever we talk about Hollywood-related topics on our Discord lives that we have, if Kevin's available, Kevin will also be on those to give his input and thoughts and everything like that, because we can only go to Hollywood once, maybe twice a year. Kevin gets to go a lot more often we do. So he has a lot more insights and knowledge on that stuff. So if you ever wanted to hear Kevin and stuff like that, whenever we have Discord lives, maybe stop in if we have some Hollywood stuff to discuss, because he might be there.
Kevin! All right, let's get into it because we have a lot to discuss. Obviously, as we mentioned, we did get tickets released in Hollywood. That's everything. In Orlando, that's just single night and some of the add-ons. So we're still going to be waiting on multi-night tickets. Do not panic. I haven't seen much panic this year, so I'm proud of everyone. Thank you for not freaking out. We might have something to freak out about when it comes, but we'll worry about that later. Shh. But let's start with Hollywood, where, again, we have everything, and it's kind of just the same as it was in the years past, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm going to list off all the ticket options and where they start from in terms of prices, but you guys all know the drill if you've been to Hollywood before. It's basically the same stuff they always have every year. First thing, starting off, we got general admission tickets starting from $77 per person. Then we move on to their express tickets, which start at $229 per person. Now, if you are not a Hollywood local or go to HHN Hollywood, you might be a little confused about how their express tickets and all their sort of add-ons work. Usually, like with our coast, when you have an express ticket, that does not include your daytime ticket. It's a completely separate thing. Hollywood does not do it that way. So the $229 consists of both your express pass, which is one admission per haunted house, one express usage, and your daytime ticket. So they're both combined. They're not separate. So that is what the price you are paying. You're paying for the ticket and the express. Something else to note is that this ticket also gives you access to Super Nintendo World from 7 to 10 p.m. It's looking like they're doing the same thing they did last year and previous years, where the Nintendo World will not be open to regular guests. It will just be for the people who have the special tickets, which honestly kind of makes it a dead zone. You can go in there and there'll be like no one in there. It's super empty. If you want to ride low weights on Mario Kart or do anything over there. If you haven't seen the version in Epic Universe, that is way better. I recommend doing that because it's a nice way to get out of the crowds. It's a really nice way. Um, Moving on from that, we have Express Unlimited, would let you go through the Express line unlimited times in addition to your normal daytime ticket, or not your daytime ticket, your Horror Nights ticket. This also has access to Super Nintendo World, and this starts at $269 per person. Moving on, we have our favorite thing, the Halloween Horror Nights RIP Tour, something we recommend to everyone who has who's going to Hollywood for the first time and wants to do it the right way. We always recommend this. So this gives you RIP tour perks, including an expert guided tour, a gourmet meal, a VIP trolley to the backlot, and more, much, much more. It also gives you unlimited RIP tour access. It says Express on here, but it's always RIP tour access, which is through a special RIP line that is different from the Express line. RIP line basically gets you in instantly. There is no wait. There is nobody in that line. You walk in that line, they see your RIP. They're stopping the general line and they're letting you go through immediately. The express line can sometimes have a wait. Usually a way less wait than the standby, but there'll still be some sort of a wait. RIP tour does not have that. You can use that all night. From when you're with your tour guide, after you're done, you still have that lanyard. You still have RIP tour line access. Also, you get access from Super Nintendo World from 7 to 10 p.m. as well, and this starts at $419 per person. I don't think it's too much of a jump because I think, Jess, you were talking that last year you paid about like $490 for a Sunday, right?
I can't remember if we actually went on a Sunday, but it was just under 500 for the RIP. I think it was either a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
It was Saturday.
Okay, so
right?
peak night. I think so, right?
No, I don't remember now. But
I know it was
Saturday
just
or
under
Sunday.
500 though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's probably not jumping too much, if there is a jump, which is nice because once again, this is the best deal you can do if you want to have the best Hollywood experience. This is where you get it. You get bang for your buck here because you are getting everything you would want as a Horror Nights fan.
HHN 365 highly recommends across the board.
Absolutely. Now moving on, Halloween Horror Nights also has something special over in Hollywood where there is a 2 p.m. day-night ticket. What does this mean? That means you can get in the daytime park at 2 p.m. Honestly, though, I've gotten in earlier. Usually when I've gone, you can get in at 1:30, maybe even earlier if you're lucky. So I wouldn't say get there right at 2. Sometimes if you get there early and you're willing to wait a little bit, as a just in case, they might let you in early. But basically, you can get in the park at 2 p.m. Or a little bit earlier to experience the daytime attractions. So we're talking Secret Life of Pets, things that maybe you wouldn't be able to access at HHN, or if you just want to just do rides and enjoy the park during the day, and then you get to stay over into the night using their form of Stay and Scream and go into Halloween Horror Nights. So you're not only getting access to the park, a little bit of time to access the park, but you're also getting the ability to do Stay and Scream because you are there. And you have to pay for Stay and Scream even if you're a pass holder now. So you are getting more benefit with this ticket than you would usually. Yep, you also get early event access starting at 5:30 p.m. So that's the Stay and Scream part of it. And you get Super Nintendo World access as well. And this starts at $117 per person. Now we're going to move on to another pretty good deal where you can do the after 2 p.m. day night express version, which means you have Express for the daytime and the nighttime. So you can use Express for all the rides that offer Express during the day. And then at night, once Halloween Horror Night starts, it rolls over, or it usually does. So, yeah, it says here starting at 2 p.m., one time per day, Express access during the day of the event. It usually rolled over. So, like if you did Jurassic World in the morning, at night, you could also do Jurassic World with Express. I'm actually looking into the details here because I'm seeing if they changed that or not. Because it does say per day now. I don't know if it used to say
it
that.
could just be one of those things where, like you said, you don't get Express after an RIP tour. You still get RIP, but they kind of word it as you get less benefit than you really do. Could be that
Yeah,
situation where that's just how they word it. But their system will actually kind of reset for HHN.
that's what I think because it usually does. So that's probably what happens. It technically doesn't say it here, so like, don't take our word for it. They could change the system. We never know. But that's typically how it worked in the past. This also gives you early event. It gives you everything you get with the 2 p.m. day night. So Nintendo early event access, stay and scream, all that good stuff. And this is from $299 per person. Um, Moving on, there is the frequent fear pass. No, we do not have it yet, but they do. And this frequent fear pass gives you admission to Halloween Horror Nights for up to 33 nights. And looks like this is almost all event dates: September 4th to 7th, 11th to the 14th, 18th to the 21st, the 25th to the 28th, October 2nd, 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, 19, 22, 23, 26, and 29 through the 31st, and also November 1st and 2nd. And that is starting from $179. Once again, that's a really good deal for a frequent fear pass. If you've lived there and you're a local, or just going a couple of nights, it honestly might make more sense to get this, depending on your days. So definitely make sure to check that out and check the days and see if it makes sense for your trip. And then there's also the Ultimate Fear Pass, which starts at $299 per person. And this is like our Ultimate Frequent Fear to let you go every single event night, which is awesome. There is also the early access ticket, where unlike Orlando's Coast, you really have to pay in order to get into their version of Stay and Scream. Don't worry, you're not paying a lot. You're only paying $15. Usually, it could vary on the day. But even if you're in the park, if you do not have the Stay and Scream wristband that they give out by purchasing this ticket, they will not let you stay. So definitely keep that in mind. I always recommend it if you're going and you're not an RIP tour and you just have a day. It's $15 is a price, but you get to do a lot with that $15 with Stay and Scream. You get to do a couple houses, some of the big ones that you would not be able to do later in the night because it gets too crowded. So definitely recommend the Stay and Scream early access ticket, and you get access starting at 5:30 p.m. And last but not least, there is a Halloween Horror Nights Universal Express add-on that allows you Super Nintendo World access from 7 to 10 p.m. This is separate event admission for the same date required. This is new, isn't it? This seems new.
Yeah, maybe. Does it say new?
This isn't, I don't, usually they just offer Express with the daytime ticket, and it's the package that costs $229. This isn't a package. This is just straight up, you get Express and add it on to your ticket. So add it onto your daytime ticket instead of buying it as a package, which doesn't even make a lot of sense because this is $152 and the package is like, I mean, actually, I guess the package is $229, so I guess it kind of evens out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they're allowing you to.
Weird.
Maybe this is an option for like if you're at the park already and have it, and you're like, man, I need Express. Maybe this is what they tack on to your ticket.
Like a single night express. This is their version of. Well, they have that already, don't they? I'm so confused.
Well, their Express comes with the daytime.
With a ticket, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, with not the daytime. I always think is the beginning of Halloween Horror Nights is the day. It's night. But it comes with the ticket. It's the combo. This is not a combo. This is straight up just Express.
Yeah. Add on, like Orlando style.
Yeah,
exactly.
So like the frequent fear holders, maybe something for them to do, like add on to
that's
it.
true.
That's probably who this is for.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So yeah, if you have a frequent fear and want to do, get an Express, because there wasn't previous any option really to do that unless you wanted to buy the ticket. I'm sure if you went to guest services, you probably could. But now they just have that option here, so that's good. And this also gives you access to Super Nintendo World from 7 to 10 p.m. Looks like we got through all the Hollywood tickets. Do we have any discussion, any additional details we want to talk about, or we think it all sort of makes sense?
All I know is I will be buying my RIP soon enough. Soon enough.
Yeah, I mean that's the only one I think we both looked at. They're like, oh, RIP is there. Good.
Yeah.
There we go.
As long as it's back every year, and I know
That's
it
it.
will be, I'm there. And again, we recommend it highly, 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 highly. It is worth it. I know it looks like a lot of money. It is the best way to experience that event. If you're like us and you're only going one night, do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
And it'll save your legs because you don't have to walk all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, at some point you will.
You will, but
Not
you don't
your
have to
first
do it
run.
multiple times. Yeah.
Yep. You're not waiting any lines. If you want to hear about our experiences with RIP, every time we have a Hollywood episode, a Hollywood review, feel like we always talk about it. Like, even if we're like, we're not going to discuss it that much this time, we always do. So definitely just check out any of those because we go in detail on why RIP, no matter the year, is always worth it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, with that, shall we move on to Orlando, where there are some unique aspects to some of the details of tickets, and
Absolutely.
also some surprising inclusions that we didn't really expect, huh? Let's start with the basic part, and that is just Halloween Horror Night single night tickets. Um, Obviously, you could just buy these for any single night of the event. They range from $82.99 to $123.99, which will be a couple Saturdays in October that they have that price point. Um, it is really starting to feel a bit steep to get in price to the event. I'm pretty sure my first year, I brought in a Pepsi can and it was like 25 or 30 bucks. So times have changed, that's for sure. But I think the average guest is probably buying this ticket. That's your price point. I hope it's acceptable. Um, and then also, it does confirm in here that they're still going to stick to the standard parking situation they have, where typically, if you want to park at Universal's, it is free after 6 p.m. However, for Halloween Horror Nights nights, that is going to be midnight that you finally get to park for free. So keep that in mind if you're just buying a single night ticket and don't want to drop 35 bucks on parking.
Hmm.
After that, we're going to move on to newer but returning event, and that is Premium Scream Night, where they do
Woo!
confirm that once again it will be one night only. That is going to be the night before the event officially opens in Orlando, Thursday, August 28th. So going back to that discussion of looking at that random Thursday that was open, like we mentioned, that's typical. There's always going to be like a buyout that occurs, and that's exactly what it was. So we are still doing before the event starts. Uh, they promote it as shorter wait times with staggered entry. All you care to enjoy select food and drink, that is non-alcoholic beverage options, and also complimentary self parking. That's going to be $375. Um, and I do believe you get $25 off if you are an annual pass holder. I know apparently the way to get that online can be difficult. So if you can buy it in person, that might be the best way to have that applied.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it just takes off the tax. So it's $375
Yeah.
even.
You do also get a souvenir credential and lanyard. So kind of like I guess what like the media lanyards look like is the best way to describe it. So that is a cool little keepsake to get. And then also, the very interesting thing that they're doing here is not only are they not saying you cannot wear costumes, they are directly saying premium Scream Night guest may wear costumes subject to the costume policy. However, no costume masks allowed.
I know some people are gonna love that because
Yeah,
there's so many people at the event who want to dress up, and some kind of do. I feel like the costume policies kind of gotten really lax lately,
They
so
don't
I
care. They've
I
never,
don't think.
since Stranger Things 1, costume went out the window. They don't care.
pretty much. I almost
Yeah.
wonder if this is a way for them to kind of contain it to a night, right? Like if people see
Mm,
that they can specifically do it this one night, it'll draw them to really just do it then and less on other nights.
I doubt it because this is such a premium
Yeah, that's true.
ticket.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's probably just creating more of an event out of this than anything else.
It's a big
Yeah.
costume party.
Hmm. So, you guys going this year?
I want to. I really do. My going is all dependent on that express rumor that we talked about last
Mhm.
week or the
Yeah.
week before. Yeah. It's all dependent on that. If there's no express, I'm probably gonna shell out the money.
Yeah, I
Which
think I'm in the same boat, but I might get it either way.
Yeah.
But
Our
definitely
friends
if we don't have express add-on for multi-night tickets.
our friends last night were really, really trying to convince me.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the fence. I'm also like you guys. Without an express out on, I kind of need to do this. I feel like I have to if I want to experience the event the way I really want to. In this short wait times and everything like that. I kind of hate that technically the taking away express would work. Like they got us. They got us with
Yeah.
like we know you're gonna pay the money because you're gonna go
Mhm.
here if you don't get express. So did it take it away? They still get our money, which kind of whatever. But I'd still do this. It depends on times and stuff, but I would definitely do this. Something that's interesting though that I realized is that I think last year premium screen night started at 6:30, right?
Yes, and now it is 7:30.
That is an hour off, which
Mm-hmm.
that kind of and it stayed up until 2, right? Or did it close early?
It was
Was it
open till 2.
2? It
It
was
was
2?
2.
I thought it might have
Yeah.
been like 1 or something, but
I swear it was 2, but maybe I'm wrong
yeah,
now.
I don't fully remember. For some reason, in the back of my head, I felt like it closed like an hour earlier, but it could have still been 2,
I
to be
know
honest.
the food disappeared by like midnight or
Mm,
1, and that was kind of a problem that people were having.
yeah.
But also they were making so much food last year and just like I know Mike said a lot of people were just not taking some of it. So they just
Mm-hmm.
had food out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But something that I did see and I did not realize last year, there you they have some park food available as well. That's included on top of the HHN food.
Ooh.
Mm.
So you could get butterbeer last year included. There was something else I can't remember now, but there were some things around the park that you could like hot dogs and shit like that.
Give us Reuben fries or give us death.
God,
Yes.
if they brought those back, we would weep.
Can you imagine if they only came back for that night and we didn't do it? We'd hate
No, I don't want to
ourselves.
think about that.
I would have seen the first tweet that they're there. I'll be like, "Here's your $400. Thank you. I'm coming.
No, you would have called us and been like, "Get in the fucking car now."
I'm at your door. Let's go. Come on."
you
It's like
you have
what?
no say. Pull the $400 out of your ass. Let's go.
Just be no
Uh,
explanation. Just be, I'm at your door. You're
correct.
get in the car. Like
Get
No
in the car.
explanation. Just Reuben
Reuben
fries.
fries.
Reuben fries. I'm
if
in.
if Duff ever shows up unannounced, it's because of Reuben fries. Don't speak. Just get in.
It's
Mhm,
true.
correct. But yeah, if you want to hear more about Premium Scream Night and just what the experience was like, obviously it had really good reviews from attendees last year. The three of us did not do it, but Mike did. So if you go back to our opening week episode, he has a good description about how the whole event came together last year. So check that out if you want more details.
You know what I wonder? Because something Mike talked about and everyone talked about is how dead it was, how no one was there. And I think a lot of people like us were kind of apprehensive because we're like, it's the day before the event. We don't really know exactly what this is. They didn't really give a lot of details. And it was empty, and it was the best day for everyone who went. It was their favorite day of HHN
Hmm.
33, no question. No one has said any different. Um, do we think the crowds are going to be as low as they were, or do we think
No,
maybe it
no.
changes like significantly?
I think so. The rumor is they were operating at about half or less than half of what their capacity was. Um, I think if they don't change it, if they do not up capacity, it is going to sell out. I think it'll probably be like close to the event, but I think it'll sell out this year if they leave it
Hmm.
at that same capacity they had set.
Yeah,
Which
I
I
can
think it's
see
still
that.
low enough where it's going to be a great night that's going to feel empty, but it's not going to be the same as last year.
Yeah, that was definitely an anomaly, and I do think the reason they brought it back because I don't think they made money last year from it. I think they lost money, but I think they saw everyone who said it was the best night of their lives, and everyone's
Hmm.
still saying it. All the social media, the vloggers and people are saying that was the best night of HN I've ever had. Are convincing the general public to say I'm going to get this, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think it will sell out because of that fact, and that's why it's still here. I don't know if it would be if they didn't have hope that would happen.
Yeah,
Mm.
they're really banking on that, and to be honest, they're probably going to be correct. It is going to sell much better this year.
Mhm.
I think it also, even if they lost money, it worked for them because it was another dry run
Hmm.
Mhm.
before they let full capacity in. So now they have team member preview and this premium scream night.
Yeah.
So there were, I don't know about you guys, I had less problems with like food and like they were turning out food much quicker on opening weekend than historically
Hmm.
I've experienced.
Yeah, operations came together a lot quicker than usual.
So it
Yeah.
might benefit like the ops side of it, even if they're losing money, because it's think about it, like they're still gonna have that dress rehearsal. They
Hmm.
normally have one after well, not after team member preview because it used to be the night before, but they always have a final dress rehearsal. This just means that they can have team member preview and then another dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep. So either way, exciting to see this return, and hopefully it is just as good as it was last year for anyone who attends.
Yeah. very not on topic, but why are there two pictures of El Cibone coming out from different sides?
Thank you.
Why
Thank
is
you.
it's like so you have the premium screen night where he's coming out from the right. And then you have the express pass right next to it where he's coming out from the left, and it looks like the little white portion in between the two tabs is like his boo hole, and he's just popping out between the different tickets.
My favorite is you also have La Lechuza on the same page.
Why is Monstros featured so heavily in these pictures? It doesn't matter, but it's like that's an interesting choice.
Mhm.
The best pictures that they got were in Monstrous, apparently.
Like, hey, they got a goblins. Look at that.
Yay.
So with that, I think we could start talking about Express. Um, so this is, of course, a single night Express usage. Um, I think the interesting part here is this price point. It starts at $139.99, so the cheapest you're going to get in Express. And remember, these are single use. You get to use them one time per house and attraction. $140 on the cheapest day. It goes up to $260.
Oh my
Which,
god.
keep this in mind if you want to avoid a really busy night potentially.
Mhm.
October 11th is the only day it's 260. There are 250s, there are 240s, but only one day where it's 260, and it is Saturday, October 11th. So maybe avoid Halloween Horror Nights on October 11th
Wow.
because they have
Wow.
it jacked up really high.
Has that like historically been like their busiest Saturday or something?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe. I don't know. Maybe something's happening, or there's gonna be a lot of people in town. I don't know.
I'm, I don't know.
But yeah, good luck with that.
Prices are insane. Insane.
Insane. And remember, this is only an add-on. It's not like in Hollywood where we've discussed where they kind of a package where like you get a ticket that comes with it. You have to buy your ticket separately, and then your express add-on starts at $140.
For
So
something that never sold out last year, remember?
correct, correct. So yeah, this is pretty much unchanged, except it got a bit more expensive, which we expect everything to every single year. So,
Mhm.
anything else about Express?
I'm trying
No.
not to think about Express right now. It's a sensitive
Same.
subject.
Same. So we are going to talk about our next add-on then. So again, you do have to have admission to Halloween Horror Nights ahead of purchasing this, and that's going to be the RIP tours, which is HHN versions of the VIP tours. You'll get priority VIP entry to all of the houses. You will have an RIP tour guide walking you around. You're kind of guaranteed once per house, uh, and that's going to differ between the public and private tours and exactly how that works. Because if you get a private tour, you kind of just do what you want. Public tours, they kind of just want to get the group through everything. You will do pre-tour reception and get a commemorative RIP tour credential, also on the lanyard. Um, it does come with a button as well, so you do get some gifts for this. It comes with valet parking for one vehicle per ticket, and then also reserved seating at the shows during the tour.
That's interesting.
It
Is it?
says shows?
It says
It's
show in parentheses S.
Okay.
So yeah, you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
mhm.
Show, or if we have multiple, sure. But we're not going to tell you. So this is unchanged, same as always. And this pricing is going to be for the public tour. So basically, the one where they're going to put you in a group with other people, unless your group just takes up the whole thing, I guess. And this starts at $369.99 and will go all the way up to $460, and that is price per person.
That's not including the ticket.
And
The
Yep.
not
normal
and you're going to
ticket.
spend at least $83 on your ticket.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know we've talked about it before, but I know our Express, we don't love it as much as Hollywood's, right? Is that like the consensus?
Our express or RIP, you
No,
mean?
sorry,
RIP.
RIP, RIP, RIP.
Yes, I think I enjoyed our RIP, but it's also it's tough to fully judge it because I go to our event a lot during a season.
Mhm.
So I have a different view on what RIP gives me for Orlando versus what it does for Hollywood. So I do think they are both really good, and if you have the money and you're only here for a night, especially, take advantage of it. But I do think the value is still a bit better in Hollywood, regardless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I
a
love it.
lot of that comes down to the fact that you get RIP access all night long, even when you're not with your tour guide. Where in Orlando, you do not. That is not the case.
Yeah.
Um, I believe they say you don't, but I will say I got express access after.
Yeah.
So that was still nice. Um, but there's not a separate RIP line in Orlando, so obviously they can't do that.
Yeah. And like I haven't done like a proper RIP tour. I've done obviously like the media night, but that's very different.
Hmm.
So like for me, I would rather do unmasking because I'm gonna get the same like inside stories and like little Easter eggs and stuff like that that the tour guide's gonna give me, and I can just pay less and go look at the houses and take pictures.
Hmm.
Just because I go so much to
Hmm.
Orlando.
Yeah. So it's worth it again if you are coming and you don't get to go multiple nights, or if you only go a couple nights and maybe you want to do RIP once. If you're a local, maybe try it out once, but I don't think it's really necessary or fully worth it for the money.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
say if in Hollywood, if you're a local, you still
Oh,
might want to do that
definitely give
RIP
it a
tour.
shot. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I
it's a
would
lot.
probably still.
I guess another big thing here is they word their food options that reception as light appetizers, and then also you go and get more small plates during the middle of the tour as well. You get a full dinner buffet in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and then you can return later for desserts. And technically, you can return whenever you want if you fits in with your tour. Um, so you are fully fed meals. Where in Orlando, you are not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you get like event like exclusive food in the RIP buffet in Hollywood too.
You do in Orlando as well.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes, but it's like
I've never done it.
small plate versions of them.
Gotcha. Okay. But you also got to see HHN bury the statue. That was the only place you could see it last year.
Yes, which was cool. It was cool. There, there, there.
So wait, the reception, like the pre-reception was in La Bamba or was it in
No, it's in the like at the like VIP services building when you go up on the balcony.
Oh, okay.
That's where the reception is. And
Okay.
then your
That
like
makes sense.
middle of the night reception is at La Bamba.
And then they also had I can't think of the name of the seafood restaurant. They had that open, right?
Lombards,
Too?
yes.
Yeah.
So I did not go on our tour. Just we never hit it. But that was an option as well. And then you also do get to go up on to that like bar space that's above Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, you got the
So
observation
overlooking the
deck.
park, which is one of my favorite parts of it. Honestly, seeing the park lit up at night for horror nights from that angle, beautiful, fucking
Yeah,
beautiful.
you're in the heart of the event right there. Oh,
Hmm. And it's just a little bar up there. It's nice, chill.
cool.
Anything else for RIP tour before we move on?
I don't think
Mhm.
so.
I will say this next one is one of the most exciting for me because it has something I'm so excited to see listed. And we're going to
Yes.
be talking about the behind the screens unmasking the horror tours. So if you don't know, these are either 3 or 6 house tours where during the daytime you'll be able to go and see these houses lights on. Obviously, there's only 9 houses featured. There will be a house left out, typically an IP. We'll talk about what we think that could be later, but you do have photography access. There will be cameras down for some sections, but they'll let you know ahead of time. You also do get a commemorative pin, one per guest. And the best part, they say new, but it's really returning, and that is lunch included. Buffet style lunch included with 6 house tours only. So this is something they used to do. I think 29 was the last year they did this, where it was included in your
Mhm.
meal. It used to be in Monsters Cafe. You basically just get a buffet fully included. Um, they then moved to the point where they bring you to Monster Cafe, but you pay for your food and order ahead. And for the past few years, they've just kicked you out to City Walk and said, "Have fun, see you in an hour."
Yep.
So them bringing back food included is huge to me. I think that is huge.
Absolutely. I also feel like they took away the buffet before 29 because
Was it?
I did the tour in 2018, not in 2019. And that was when you could pre-order and they would give you something
Mm,
from the concession stand in 28.
gotcha. So it might have been like,
Or maybe we went to Monsters, but we still had to pay. I remember paying.
mm, it, regardless, at some point this was cut and they've brought it back.
Yeah.
This makes the tour like if you were on the fence about it, but really, we're thinking about it. This makes it more worth it. I think, because the lunch part was always the weird part to me in the six house store, because always so long, and then halfway through it's like, all right, go buy your own food, go find a place in City Walk. I hope the line isn't long, basically. But this, this gives you a nice break and really rejuvenates you before you go to the next three, because the last three are always the longest. Like you're always like you're tired. You already did three houses. You already spent 3 or more hours doing those. But this will help you get energy for that
Mhm.
last set and make the six house even more worth it.
And you don't have to worry about like you going to Bread Box and your food taking forever, or
Yep.
in our
Or
case,
Today
Today
Cafe.
Cafe, and not getting your food at
I
all.
was waiting to talk about it. If you go back, I think it was 2022,
Yes, it was.
our episode about unmasking. We went in on that, but it was terrible. Nobody got to eat.
And honestly, that's probably why this change happened. Not us specifically, but there was a lot of a bad bad surveys about how they handle their food situation. So they have now corrected that, and I am very excited.
Well, it also probably threw off the tours because I remember we would be waiting for the other people in our group to get back,
Hmm.
and it
Yeah,
just
it's
took
true.
forever.
It's true. Now, as excited I am about this is not the only big piece of news that comes with the announcement for Unmasking the Horror this year. If you remember last year, they started before the event, about 3 weeks before the event last year. Well, it will be starting before the event again, but it is going to be August 27th or August 22nd, a week before the event starts. So those are only going to be 6 house tours, and I'm pretty happy I only have to avoid the internet for a week instead of 3 this year.
So we
Yeah.
already do, like, team member preview already happens pretty close to that anyways.
Hmm.
So it's really just a couple days extra if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's
to get
true.
the weekend.
And this is so much better too, because I know people who went on the tours early, and as cool as it was, people are like, "This house ain't done. Like, this isn't even close to done." And
Mhm.
people are giving bad reviews of the houses like before it even started, and created perceptions of things that I think carried into the events.
Mhm.
Um, Museum specifically, at the end of the day, I don't think museum was that bad. I thought it was actually, like in the middle of the pack. But because they started unmasking so early, everyone was saying, "Man, museum does not look good at all," and that's because it wasn't done. Like
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
was not, and but that carried into the event, and I think everyone ended the event going, "Yeah, museum was very bad. It was terrible." When I don't think it actually was. I just think the perception lingered with them, and they already were going into it thinking it was going to be bad. So that when they saw it, they thought it was bad. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
I think there was almost an opposite scenario for triplets where people were like, I think 'cause it was like the house that looked the most complete. People were like, "Oh, this is gonna be the fucking banger of the year." So there was like huge high hopes and expectations when people went to the event, and it was kind of like, "Oh, what?
Mhm.
Mhm.
No, this is disappointing now."
Yeah. I think of like Hell Block though, which is like a different situation because it was a different house and got changed, but like Blood Day didn't happen till after team member preview for that
Hmm.
house. So that was not a completely different house, but one of their biggest like set dressing moments didn't happen. And team member preview is only 2 or 3 days before the event.
Yep.
Yeah. So
So for the pricing, we're gonna start with the 3 house. They start at $84.99, and they're gonna go up to $105 per person. When looking at the 6 house tours, they're gonna start at $169.99, and they are gonna go up to $220 per person. So this is a little bit different than what you'll normally see for add-ons at the event, where the later you get into the season, things get a bit more expensive. Um, this is actually kind of consistently just weekends are busier, and then even a bit pricier earlier in the year because there's kind of more demand to see them early on. So you aren't really going to save money by knocking it out earlier like you would with like Express or RIP tours or anything like that.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I do look forward to hopefully doing both the 3 and 6 house tour again. I think it's one of the coolest things that HHN does, kind of really lifting the curtain and letting you see these houses, um, and how they were built and how these effects happen. So, always looking forward to it.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's always cool when you get to take pictures and, the rooms they let you to in some of your favorite properties and favorite houses. They were letting people take pictures in front of the firehouse in Ghostbusters, and that's like
mhm.
a moment you can't recreate. You're never gonna get something like that. So there's a lot of reasons to do these tours if you're a big HHN fan.
Hmm. And I do think another cool thing is you're really going to find some of the most passionate tour guides that just know a shit ton about the event. Not everyone's going to be perfect and care as much as the others, but like the biggest HHN nerd tour guides are going to be in these. So you can get lucky and get one who just knows endless knowledge about the event and its history, and can answer so many questions and tie it in with what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, if you're annoying like us, you can ask them questions.
And we sure do.
Oh, yeah.
But we are going to move now on to our last ticket option. This is going to be another add-on, and it is going to be the return of the Scream early ticket. With this announcement on its own, kind of not quashes a rumor, but makes it interesting. So there was the rumor of Stay and Scream is either not returning or is going to look a bit different. Well, guess what? Stay and Scream's happening. There are Scream early tickets. So basically, this is a ticket that you can buy as an add-on to your Horror Nights ticket that will allow you to enter Halloween Horror or Universal Studios at 3 p.m. Um, so basically, it gives you a chance to maybe do a few rides and then do Stay and Scream. Um, it really doesn't add anything to this potentially being different than like what we're used to for Stay and Scream. All we know is you can still get in early, and this is just going to be a flat 55 every night. Obviously, fees after that as well, but it is not dynamic pricing.
I'll tell you, those prices make me scream early. I'll tell you.
Remember when it was like
I think
$25?
yeah, in its
Mhm.
first year it was 25. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure.
Then it was like 30, and I was like, okay, that's fine. 55. I know, like, it's if you don't have an annual pass, I have to take that hat off for a second. Like, if you don't have an annual pass, you don't come all the time, like, yeah, go do the mummy before the crowds get like huge over there. Go do whatever. And then go sit and stay and scream, but like 55 fucking dollars?
Hmm.
Jesus.
At that price point, I honestly just recommend invest in a ticket, Universal Studios
Yeah.
ticket. Enjoy the day, instead of almost like almost a third of your normal ticket price for this type of thing.
Hmm.
It used to be a good deal, but the way one of my friends got to do it for the first time, as I said, you're gonna get the Scream early ticket. It's only $20. We're gonna go, and it's gonna be perfect, and he had a great time. But if the same thing happened today, and I wouldn't even recommend that. I just say just get a normal ticket. We'll do a full day. We'll brave it through because it's that price is way too high for something like this.
Yeah. I wish it included parking or something.
That would make it worth it if it included parking.
Yeah. Cause like you got to pay. So think about it. If you're buying this and parking, you're paying $100.
Mm.
And like that's a lot. I know you're already probably spending a lot to go. So but it's all money. I know. It's a business.
Business.
I
Business.
almost wonder if they kind of want to deter too many people getting it. Like they'd rather have less people buy
Mm,
this ticket. You know,
yeah.
like they'll get the same amount of money that way at the end of the day because they're charging more. But like, yeah, we'd rather have a few less people in the park for Stay and Scream,
Yeah.
Probably what it is.
but also money.
Yeah.
Also money.
Before we move on from all ticketing and everything, I want to go back to something we didn't touch on.
Oh yes, please.
What house do we think isn't going to be on the tours?
Oh, that's right. Um, I think there are kind of two main options, but
Mm-hmm.
I lean towards Terrifier.
Yeah.
Um, I just think there might be some scenes in there they don't want people to see.
Yeah.
Um, the level of disgustingness and gore that might be there. Um, but then I also just think there's a very supposedly secretive property coming, and that's Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's going to lean a lot on potentially, actually, we know now, animatronics.
Mm-hmm.
And that is typically something Horror Nights doesn't want you to see either. So uh, it really could be either of those, in my opinion.
Yeah. I I have a thought that I think I feel like it's going to be Five Nights because of the animatronics and the the man who owns it. I don't know his name, but he's very protective of his characters, and that's all we hear about this property. So if it's all animatronics, he's not going to be okay with like Freddy Fazbear just chilling in a boo hole and people walking by and potentially like touching it and taking pictures because like the tour guides are not babysitters. They try to keep an eye on people, but you can't control everything sometimes. So I feel like they could get away with Terrifier, more so, and not Damian Leone won't care.
Mhm.
Universal will care. So I think it's gonna be 5 nights just because they're gonna be sitting in boo holes just chilling.
Yeah. I'm on the same mindset where I think those 2 are the most likely options, but I think with Terrifier, you can get away with it by just saying, "You're not taking any pictures in this house." There's been
Mhm.
houses like that where it's like, "Here's 2 rooms. You take pictures, that's it. Sorry, guys."
Hill House,
Um,
you could only take the facade and like one room inside.
yep,
Mhm.
exactly. Could be the same exact thing for Terrifier. And with this, the risk of people, if it really is animatronic puppet heavy, the risk of people touching things and breaking the animatronics that cost I don't know how much, um, is way too high than the potential gain of the ticket cost, the ticket price of the unmasking tours. They didn't have the Quiet Place was the one not on the tour last year, right?
Ye Yes.
Hollywood had it on their tour. When they have like their annual pass holder tour, they had Quiet Place, but I think we didn't. And I think that's because of the animatronics.
Yeah.
I just
Mhm.
don't think they want people touching them. That like it's too risky. So yeah, I think I'm fully leaning 5 nights now.
Yeah, I think I start to lean that way from the animatronic talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which means I get to go in WWE and take all the pictures I fucking want.
there you go.
That's how I look at it. Those are 2 properties that I like Five Nights and Terrifier, but I won't die if they're not on the tour.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Anything else regarding tickets before we fully move on to other bigger announcements, I guess?
Where's my frequent fear pass stuff? Where is it? Where
Next
where
We're
month.
where'd it
not doing
go?
Frequent Fear this
Next
year? I
month.
thought
Leave me alone.
my
Shut up.
my
Shut
friend
up.
in
Shut the
social
fuck
media
up.
told me that they weren't gonna sell them this year.
Again, I haven't seen as much of that this year, finally. I
No.
think people have
Mhm.
other things to worry about right now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's other rumors going around. They're like, "Wait, what? I have to worry about that? Oh, shit." Um, but yeah, so we expect next month we'll get multi-night tickets, which will include your frequent fair passes. Just hopefully with an add-on for Express. We don't know yet.
Oh, I have one more question about tickets, actually.
No.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask it anyways. You
Okay.
can't tell me what to do. The tickets were not live even when we were able to see them, right? They held them for a little bit.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, what time was it last year they dropped single night?
They dropped it. I remember tweeting at about 7:30 a.m.,
Hmm.
7:15. Um, and Jess was right I was at work and at like 4, I think it was like 4:15, 4:30. I was on my break, so it had to be like almost 5 a.m. There the Halloween Horror Nights tab like popped up on the ticket website, but then like disappeared later. But they were not up as early as they were last year, not at all.
Hmm.
Feels like they're preparing us for multi nights because everybody bought them up last year before they were the express options. They were sold out by what, like 10 a.m. or something like that.
Yep.
Feels like I'm getting flashbacks to like the Eras tour and Beyonce tickets for this. Like I'm gonna be in a Ticketmaster queue for hours.
Yeah, probably. Uh,
Sorry, not to get anybody nervous, but like it did happen.
it
I
did
don't want to think
happen.
about that. I don't want to no. Don't make me think about
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
will say in the past though there has been a difference between single night and multi-night timing. Multi-night
It's
tickets
fair.
have always dropped earlier than that. So there's a chance they still just sneak those out while everyone's sleeping. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I hope they don't change it up.
We'll be up.
Well, I hope they change it up and they don't limit, but I think it might be worse than just that.
Let's talk about
Ay.
more positive things, please.
Okay, we
Yes.
will. We will. Guess what? We got our first official house announcement. We've had an
Ooh.
announcement, but they made it very clear they didn't want to say house, and now
Yet.
they've said it's a house, but we'll talk about that later. Um, Fallout. It came. It is our first official house announcement. It is coming to both Orlando and Hollywood. The description that came with the announcement was face your fears in post apocalyptic LA devastated by nuclear war based on the hit show and game franchise Fallout. You'll travel into the vaults and be attacked by raiders alongside Lucy. You'll escape to the wasteland and confront the bounty hunter, the Ghoul. You'll even encounter Maximus with the Brotherhood of Steel and CT-60 power armor. So,
Wait a wait a minute.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
just read something in the description there.
Uh huh.
It says based on the hit show and game franchise Fallout.
Mm-hmm. So that means
So
it has to be about the show and game, right, Jonathan?
yeah, that's what everyone's telling us in the description, that it's not just the show.
It's not like
Hmm.
the show was inspired by the game or anything.
No, the reality is, and I don't think a lot of people know this, or I think they do, and so the show is in the universe of the games. It's not a separate thing. It is, but like the show is canon to the games. The games are canon to the show. Everything takes place in the same universe. So I think they wrote this because technically you have to say the game is involved because the show is part of the game in a weird way. But every piece of info we will get into on this podcast, makes it explicitly clear that this is just a TV show. Might
Hmm.
have some Easter eggs from the games. It probably will. They said it. But this is a house based on the television Amazon Prime show. It is not based on the video games. If that
Correct.
makes sense.
And again, I understand why the way it's worded in the announcement is confusing, but there are plenty of details that say otherwise. No game, just show, which
Mhm.
potentially leans into our concerns, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, I must say, the biggest surprise I had, because we hit a point where this was kind of the prevalent rumor, and we expected Fallout to be announced that day. The biggest shock to me was that the key art's fucking cool. I thought it was going to be the most bland, looks like the show's poster. No, no, they really made it their own thing. It features the characters well. It has a really cool look to it. Key art's great. No complaints.
It's amazing. What a great like first, key art that they've released for this event. It looks like a western. It makes you excited, even if they're just the actors and if they're just doing the things they did in the main poster. You almost forget about that because of the way it's drawn and just the stylized look of it. It feels very stylized, and that doesn't happen often with IP art.
Hmm. And I feel like that's a good time to bring in the weird aspects of how this was announced, um, where we ended up having a ton of people commenting on our post about it that we announced it before HHN. So it was either fake or we leaked it. We leaked nothing. IGN posted it, and I think it just didn't really catch traction. But IGN posted it a little bit earlier than expected. Um, the merch team, the way they were setting up, it seemed like it was supposed to be like a 1 p.m. announcement about there, and this came out what, like 12:55 or so. IGN dropped it, something like that.
Yeah, might have been even
12:50, yeah, something
earlier
like
than
that.
that.
But yeah, so IGN actually released this before HHN, um, key art and all. So thanks for releasing it with the key art, IGN. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen. It's usually like if they do release it early, it does not have the key art on it. Like Quiet Place did not have the key art. It just said it's announced and whatever. This was very nice because I got to make the tweet,
Hmm.
pretty fast, and everyone was commenting like, "Jonathan, did you leak it?" I'm like, "No, I didn't. It's announced. I promise."
It's nice that our listeners got our back like that, though.
They do like, Don't leak it, guys, don't leak it." Like, no, I
No, we're
promise, it's
good. We're
okay."
good.
We don't even talk about things that are not from like reliable sources, guys. We would never.
No, not
Eh,
at all.
we teeter the
Eh,
line of reliable sometimes, to
okay,
be
yeah. No, I
fair.
mean, what is reliable? Look, we're not even reliable.
Um, I think it's cool that some of you think that we could potentially have our hands on key art before before
Yeah,
it's released, but we very much do not.
Yeah,
So
no.
we just got
Unfortunately.
fast fingers over here, Jonathan.
Yes.
draw.
He's he's the fastest shooter in the East.
Correct.
But about 30 minutes later, finally, HHN announced it. We got the press release, and it adds a little bit more detail. I'll read a blurb from the press release itself. Guests will enter Vault 33 and follow Lucy McLean as she tries to escape a bloody massacre while also learning of an evil hidden secret. The journey will then take guests outside the vault and into the wasteland, where they will need to dodge attacks from both scavengers, raiders, and even mutated cockroaches known as rad roaches. Throughout the trek, the Wasteland guests will visit the Super Duper Mart, encounter the ghoul, and even meet Maximus in his massive T60 armor. So, kind of gives you a bit more idea of who else you'll see, which basically they describe as scavengers, raiders, and rad roaches.
Surprised that's the creature they mentioned. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many other creatures you could say from the show that probably would be more interesting. Like, I guess people are scared of bugs, so, like, I get it,
Hmm.
but that was not the creature I was expecting them to say, because 'cause they're not really that important in the show at all. They're there,
Well,
there's, like, 2 scenes with them that but yeah, I mean, I guess they are an important part.
and
I
at,
guess they're
at, at
there.
the end of the day, aren't they like literally just kind of giant roaches?
That's
Mhm.
all they are.
Like
There's
that's
nothing
it.
more interesting about them. 'Em. They're just bigger sized roaches.
Mhm.
Isn't that what I mean, I'm only on episode 5 still, I haven't gotten any farther, but isn't that what all of the creatures are? Just big
There's some
animals?
Yeah, there's mutations.
mutations.
Well,
There's
yeah,
mutations.
but I don't know. I think that they only mention that because it gets people talking now because people are already nervous that we're not gonna get a lot of the creatures because it's the
Hmm.
show. So I feel like this is just more engagement.
Well, they still only named one creature, to be fair.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, and we didn't even name it, Marty did.
So yeah, I still have my concerns about basing this off the show and not really getting any of the game use. But we're gonna get into more of why it's probably not the game at all because John Murdy and oh wait, I lost it. Here we go. John Murdy and Matt Flood did an interview with IGN, and they give us quite a bit of detail, don't they?
They
Mhm.
do. And actually, for those who don't know, John Murdy is on Hollywood's coast, though you probably know by now. We talk about John Murdy a lot. And
Yeah, we
Matt
don't know who
Flood,
John Murdy is.
yeah, and Matt Flood is with Orlando. So we have both coasts talking about this house and different perspectives and maybe different things we'll see in each. Um, and do we want to just get right into the interview?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Cool. I want to read this quote because it was my favorite quote in the entire article. Um, so they were talking about, they're talking about the game and everything like that, and IGN's asking some questions, and Matt Flood on Orlando's side, he says, as you go through these environments, we want fans to say, I recognize this. I'm in a Fallout vault. How cool is that? Where else you gonna get to say you walked through a Fallout vault and then into the wasteland and saw ghouls? I'm I'm sorry, that quote is so funny. Like, I know it's not meant to be, but it's the funniest thing I've read in a long time.
It
It's
literally. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying it's giving media training.
Yeah, it literally reads as, "Yeah, we're doing Fallout. I hope it looks like Fallout. You're gonna go through Fallout and see Fallout stuff. Yeah,
You
cool."
like Fallout? Does
Eh,
Matt Flood like Fallout?
I don't
I
know.
can't tell. I can't tell.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's very much like that media. Like, I don't want to say too much, so I'm literally just gonna say Fallout shit, which is
Say the
funny
word
'cause
Fallout as much as you can.
they do give a lot more detail later. So that is kind of funny that it felt like he didn't want to say anything here.
It's
Um,
giving John Murdy.
Another quote from Matt Flood is, "And you can see and understand what the world is just by what you pass, including the bodies when Lucy first exits the vault. That type of thing is really good for us in Halloween Horror Nights, and yes, it's gruesome, which is what our fans want at Halloween Horror Nights. It's also scary and provides great characters, good monsters, all the mutated creatures, and the ghouls. That's right for the picking when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights." Kind
I
of a
Halloween
like
Horror
the
Nights.
word all the mutated creatures.
that is true. It sounds like there's going to be multiple at least. That's something.
And the ghouls.
The ghouls.
Ghouls.
The ghouls are scary. They're fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of scary. I mean, maybe.
I mean, I feel like he's gonna pop out and I'm gonna get scared. Jonathan, you're gonna get scared.
I will get it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. I got scared in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire,
Oh
so
Jesus.
whatever.
That
I
is
didn't
true.
even get scared in Ghostbusters.
It was that hallway where they all like the dark hallway where they all jump out at you. There was no one in front of me, and so and actually like as I was walking in, like it was the end of the night, no one was in the house. I saw
Mm.
the ops person like going through that one hallway in the before you entered the when you're in the containment room and there's that screen of Garaka like almost breaking through the ice, and the person there pointed to looked at her right and was like gave like a nod. Like, so because so the actors knew somebody was coming in, like they haven't had a person in like 2 minutes. So when I walked in, they're like, "Oh, we're wrecking your shit," and they did not care. They went past the boundaries and tried to kill me. It was amazing.
Oh, if you
God,
caught the timing right in that hallway, it was really good.
Yeah,
I loved that house. Ugh, I miss it.
I do too.
But also, this is something that reads like media training, right? Like it's not giving
Mhm.
too, it's a little bit more, but not giving
Mhm.
too much away. And it's also like trying to convince you that, yeah, this is a great property for us. That's all
Is
it
it
is.
though?
I
So
still think he's trying to convince himself.
he might be. Oh, yes, they have the mutated creatures and cool. Oh,
Dead
damn.
bodies. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The first quote was Fallout, Fallout, Fallout. This one is Horror Nights, Horror Nights,
Yes.
Horror Nights.
Yes. We're not picking on you, Matt Flood. It's just funny.
Oh, we love you, Matt Flood.
Uh,
But then we could also get some stuff from Murdy. It regarding the T60 armor. He says it's massive. We work really closely with the people who are producing Fallout, and they've shared an incredible number of assets with us. We've done a lot of really big stuff over the years with Horror Nights, but this has got to be, I think, one of the biggest things we've ever had to do. We also thought it'd be cool if each park had a lot in common, but also some differences. So for Hollywood, the power armor is a full animatronic. We're doing it as a fully animated figure. To which Flood adds, in Orlando, we do have kind of a final battle moment. I'm not going to reveal too much, but yes, T60s will be a part of that battle. We also got a chance to fit in Philly, and I think having a moment to get real life Fallout battle happening there is pretty cool.
Fallout.
That was definitely more detail, at least.
It was. It was.
He doesn't want to give much away, but it's more detail.
We're getting Philly
Yep.
because Hollywood's not getting Philly.
No, yeah.
Doesn't seem like it, which is weird because Philly is like the part in the show. I'm like, these sets would be so cool
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
have.
I don't know.
Why is Hollywood's T16 animatronic? Like, see, at first it sounds cool, right? Because like, oh, I like animatronics. We're theme park people. I love animatronics. They're so cool. But then I'm thinking, wait, I want it to be a costume for like a person to be in there,
Yeah.
like and move. I don't want a robot. I are they not going to have any costumes of the T60? Is that what this is referring to? And it'll only be an animatronic and like static figures. That's what it's almost reading to me. That we're gonna have costumes because why wouldn't like you need to have some sort
Mhm.
of movement like they're the main thing from Fallout basically. And Murdy's just gonna have an animatronic. I don't know if I'm reading that wrong or if I just have a really bad feeling about this, but I don't know.
No, that's how it reads to me too. And I don't love that because like I'm still not done with the show as I keep saying, but like like the character inside of the T60 is also important, and I hope we don't lose that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I don't want him just his name's Maximus, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't want to get it wrong. Like I don't just want him like before he gets in the suit. Like, yeah, I have that too, but like he gets in the suit pretty early in the show, so it's kind of important.
Yeah,
yeah,
I probably adds a little bit of concern to the Hollywood side of things, right? But
Mhm.
I will say Matt Flood sounds pretty excited about how they're going to fit that in.
Yeah.
he is. Yeah, and the battle moment sounds cool. Final battle moment, like because there's a whole scene in the show where the T60s are not gonna give too detail, but there's battle moment that happens, big battle moment, and that would be so cool to walk through, without giving too much away. I think there's a lot of potential for some scary stuff in
Mm-hmm.
that like
Mhm.
final area of the show.
Yeah. It's giving I hope it's even bigger than that, but like the Last of Us finale with the bloater and the
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
house and the shooting, like
Mm-hmm.
I want big scale, I want big bitches. Scare me, please. That's what I want from this house.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then, kind of adding on to the differences, it was noted that each house will have its own unique creature takes, and kind of giving us a Hollywood exclusive. It sounds like is the Yao Guai bear.
Someone read that and said Yogi Bear. I don't remember who said that, but now I can't stop seeing it.
I mean, I'd love Yogi Bear in the house. That'd be fun.
That would be the scariest part for me.
What the fuck is that, Yogi Bear?
And then someone else would scare me as that's the distraction as Yogi Bear. You think
Exactly.
it's the Yao Guai. Could you imagine if it was like a steroided out Yogi Bear instead?
Oh my god.
That'd be
Gonna take your picnic basket. Oh,
it's gonna be the favorite trigger of the year.
it'd be perfect. Why does also this infer that Hollywood's the only one that's gonna get the bear? Is Hollywood the only coast that's gonna get the bear? Keep in mind, like, without giving too many spoilers, I think a lot of people listening to this probably haven't watched the show yet, so we don't wanna get too much in the spoilers, but there's only a couple creatures in this show.
Mhm.
Like, there's really a couple, and the bear's, like, one of the main ones that you notice and has, like, a whole thing that happens,
Mm.
and only one coast is gonna get the bear. Was this written wrong? Did they say it wrong? Or that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it.
Well, this could also just be Murdy saying their take on it is unique.
It has to
He
be,
just
right?
says, I don't know, because like the bear is a plot driver.
Mhm.
Not to spoil anything, but like, I
It's
mean,
important bear.
I guess both of the big creatures I've encountered so far are plot drivers, but like, that's important. You want that? I want the gulper.
Mhm.
I need that axolotl baby so bad. I don't even care. Even if it's just like a floating head, like the shark, I'll be okay with that because I just need to see it.
Right.
Mhm. So maybe they got this because John Murdy really thought it was Yogi Bear. They're gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna have like a trigger in there. It's like a hey boo boo.
I,
That
I
was
hate
good.
you. I hate
Oh,
you
thank
so
you,
much.
thank you, thank you.
I don't know because Jonathan and I were talking about it yesterday. Actually, I we feel like maybe okay. I don't want to say we, but we were discussing it.
Mhm.
I feel like Murdy really wanted Fallout, and Orlando really wanted WWE.
Mhm.
I see that. I
And they
completely
shook
agree with you,
hands,
Jess.
and they said, "I'll do that if you do that."
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
worry.
There's a decent chance that's exactly what happened.
Like Orlando's gonna kill it. I have no doubts that they're gonna do a good house. I just hope it's scary.
Yeah. It's possible that, everyone gets their designers get their houses, every year, whatever. And they went, all right, Matt Flood, you got Fallout. And he went, what's that? And then the house, then there you go. So like we don't know, it could be new. On the same vein, I'm sure Murdy has never touched the game. I'm sure he has
No.
never touched any Fallout game ever in his life. And that's gonna affect things. I think the Orlando team, a lot of people have, like said, like in tweets, like very excited for Fallout, fan of the games. I'm sure Murdy doesn't like maybe watched a little bit of a walkthrough, but you don't even need to because he has a show to work on now. So that's gonna make some differences too between coasts. So we really don't know how this is gonna be translated, if it's gonna feel faithful, like what route each one's gonna take.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, there is more too. There is more. I'll talk about Matt Flood teased that there is a Pip Boy they've been working on that will be a treat to find. Any tease that guests should look in all the windows and the storefronts of the sides of the buildings, as there will be little things scattered around.
Mhm. I so the way he words this is a little weird because a Pip Boy is like the little computers they wear on their wrists,
Hmm.
and it feels like he's talking about it like it's some like fun Easter egg to find.
I hope Lucy's
Th-
wearing it
Yeah,
like a lot of the time.
right.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be like does he mean the Pip Boy as like the whole like computer and there's just gonna be like fun stuff on it, or is he like using that wrong? And like because the Pip Boy has what's like the thumbs up guy? What's the name? What's he
Oh,
called?
Is that Vault Boy?
Vault Boy.
yeah, Vault Boy.
Because
Wow, I knew something.
he's like
It's true.
on the Pip Boys, right? Like
Hmm.
I wonder if he almost just meant to say Vault Boy.
He
That might
might have
be.
said that.
See, the way it reads is like you wouldn't find a Pip Boy unless like there's something specific on the Pip Boy that's fun and like an Easter egg.
Actually, I got inside info. Matt Flood made a real one, and it's fully functional, and that's
Oh.
why he's so happy. It can do everything a Pip Boy can do.
And he shoved it in an HHN house instead of becoming rich.
Yep,
Right.
he just hid it inside a window he wants us to see.
Well,
Oh, okay.
I feel like if Lucy's not wearing it, it's just gonna be in that shop in Philly that
Yeah.
she sees it in.
Yeah,
And
probably.
that's it. And that worries me.
But she should be wearing it because that's the whole point of Lucy is a stand-in for us in the games. The Lucy's
Yeah.
character exists because it she doesn't know anything. She goes at the vault. She doesn't know anything, and that's how everyone starts Fallout. They don't know anything. They're thrown into the environment, and they have to take it as someone with not a lot of information and just experiencing everything, being super naive. That is Lucy's character. Lucy's character is everyone playing Fallout. and everyone playing Fallout has a Pip-Boy on their wrist. So it'd be really weird for that not to be on her costume, but who knows?
Hmm. It has to be at some point. It has to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
But the last bit we're going to bring from this article is Murdy being asked what he was most excited to bring to life in the house. He said, "For me, it was obviously the wasteland. It is fun to go from the vaults where you're in a claustrophobic environment to then kind of open it up into the wasteland. However, when I think of it purely from the Horror Nights delivers, for what Horror Nights delivers, it's super duper mart.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Super Duper Mart, without giving spoilers, is definitely the most horror I think the show gets in terms of like, oh, that makes sense. Like I could see that
Hmm.
in a house very easily. I'm so worried about Hollywood's wastelands though, because Hollywood doesn't do can do some very good interiors, very good interiors. I've not seen a super well done outside portion yet. I think Quiet Place might be the closest they've gotten to like an outside area that's like pretty cool, but that was just a facade.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really worried about how they tackle the wasteland because outside to Hollywood means black walls equal nighttime and put some trees. So if they really want to attempt this, they need to think out of the box and they need to do something that they have not done before in making outside scenes actually important. So I really hope they go that route.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm notating it now. We made it about an hour and 10 minutes without being mean to Hollywood, so we're good.
Oh, yeah, it was
Pretty
me
good.
too. I never do that.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of when I think of the wastelands is how shitty Stranger Things did the desert.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep imagining. Just dirt on the ground.
I mean, he's excited. I have hope when Murdy's okay. This, to be fair, this is a press release. He's not talking on Twitter. It could be different. I have more faith when he's excited when he's on Twitter. But to choose this as your example of something you are excited about, that does give me a little bit of hope that maybe we're getting more than we usually do in outdoor scenes in Hollywood.
Hmm.
Yeah. I know he did say oh my god, I meant to write this down because I saw it in there. He said that how long the treatment was, and it was like over 100 pages, and I was like, oh, it's not the 159 or something. But he like specifically, Marty said how long this treatment was.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
So this is rumored to be in UBE, right?
Yes,
Ube.
So, I mean, that's some good space with to create like a nice immersive outdoor space.
it
Like,
is.
if they're gonna get it right, this might literally be their best location to do that.
Yeah. I
I hope
mean,
you're right.
like I said, Quiet Place was the closest they gotten, I think, to a pretty good outdoor scene. So, and that was in the same location. So maybe that's a sign that this is the location that if you want good outdoor scenes, you put it in here.
Hmm.
I don't know why you can't do the same in a soundstage, but whatever. That's all it is. Just a black box, whatever. Whatever.
So
Uh,
that's kind of it for like the additional details we got. After hearing all this and kind of knowing a bit more what the approach is, I know none of us were super excited for Fallout coming to the event, but a little more excited now, or no?
I mean, yes, in the terms that it's our first announcement. Okay, first house announcement, and that always excites me. Like, no matter how I feel about anything, like something's gonna get announced, and as long as it's not Quiet Place, I'm gonna be excited. So there is a factor to that that's like helping hype a little bit. I don't know how long that's gonna last. By the time we get our second, third, fourth house announcement, it might die down at that point. Like,
Hmm.
but I'm excited in that front. Um, about the vibes you can experience, the locations we can see and stuff like that. But the main fear of it not having a lot of creatures is kind of starting to be realized when the description can only mention like normal people as the bad guys plus roaches.
Hmm.
Um, if every scare is just a normal guy, and then every once in a while you get a roach, every once in a while one coast might get a bear, one coast might not. Who knows how that works? Um, I think it could end up being a very scenically well done house with very good vibes, but maybe not enough repetitiveness in terms of like being able to repeat the house, over and over again in terms of scare quality. The lack of creatures kind of really worries me. So I'm apprehensive on this. But we'll see as time goes on how I end up feeling about this into announcement season and then seeing the house in general.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it kind of just coming into this from the rumor, the thing that I really wanted to see them execute well is going to be just the scenic and really immersing you into the locations of this series. And I will say both Murdy and Flood made a point to point out how excited they are to create these environments specifically. So I do have a lot of hope that they are going to focus on that. Um, it's still very much not going to be top of my hype list. I'll say that much. But I guess there's a little bit more hype because the one thing I really wanted them to do, I know they at least care about that part a lot. Whether they
Hmm.
execute it well, to be seen. But there's definitely going to be an effort.
Yeah.
Jess, any additional hype involved or kind of where you at?
I need to finish the show, but I don't know if I said it on the live or on last week's episode. I don't know if I had started it by then. It's a good show. It's not my favorite thing. I love post-apocalyptic. This feels like it lives in the Descendants of Destruction like world almost, and I like that house. So we'll see. I'm just worried about the lack of creatures from the descriptions so far.
Hmm.
So everything
Yeah,
you guys said,
that's definitely the biggest concern, right?
but we do got that Gogg in us now.
We all do.
Look, it only took me an hour and 20 to mention him.
It did. Not a single time,
How did
I
it take
did.
unless you
that
count the
long?
ghoul, but
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I did not say. What did I call him? Mr. Gogg. He's sitting
Mr.
right behind
Gog.
me right
Mr.
now, but we'll
Gog.
get to that in a minute.
Oh,
Um, One more thing about the announcement itself. This was accompanied with a video. I will say the Fallout portion of the video, there wasn't too much to it. It was just kind of like showing it on like an old school TV, and there was like the Easter egg of a video game controller, and yeah, not much about the series itself or anything scary at all, for that matter, about Fallout.
mhm.
The best part about the announcement video, though, was the aesthetics that accompanied it. So basically, on the like merchandise reveal, they had this for the first one as well. There's that like stained glass. Um, Basically, you like enter into it. It just has this beautiful gothic aesthetic, leading you into the Fallout portion of the video. So if that's the aesthetic we can look forward to this year across the board, count me in. I'm happy.
Yep, I'm so into all of the vibes right now.
Completely agree.
And to accompany those vibes, guess what else we got?
Merch?
Preview merch.
Let's
Woo!
go.
As we have become accustomed to, they've been doing this for a few years now, where they always release preview merch with an IP announcement. And this time it came with a T-shirt, a cup, and a very unique item that we'll talk about after we get through the first two. So the T-shirt, just like the key art, I expected it to be bland, basic Fallout kind of poster art, and I was wrong. First of all, it's not just the key art for the house, which I love. It's a shirt that's going to have the ghoul, dog meat holding a hand, and it's just like this really fun, vibrant design that is on a tan/sand shirt.
Yep.
Looks really unique for Horror Nights merch.
Hmm.
Like the color alone, the design alone. I really
Mm-hmm.
kind of like everything about it, almost every single thing. The only thing that's kind of stopping me right now from purchasing it, though I don't know how long it will, I won't do it. I might do it later. Is that the Halloween Horror Nights logo, just saying Halloween Horror Nights, is in the background of the merch. There's a nuke that explodes, and there's like an explosion. It's like hidden in there, like right at the top, like right of the shirt, and it's so blatantly like Halloween Horror Nights 2024. Right there, it just kind of doesn't fit the rest of the shirt for me. Feel like they just needed to
Hmm.
put the Halloween words Halloween Horror Nights somewhere, and instead of putting it on the sleeve, they're like, let's put it right there. But everything else is really good on this. That's my only sort of nitpick. Everything else, I think, for preview merch, this was a great start for the IP. IPs.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really strong. It's not my cup of tea, like the shirt. I don't wear light colors, but I'm happy that it's not on a black shirt.
Mhm.
Mm.
The cup is nice, but I don't need another cup.
Yeah.
But that other item,
So also the cup is just that same art, and it's kind of like one of those metal tumblers. I guess is the best way to put it. Looks good, and it's on like a red background, which is
yeah.
kind of cool.
I might
Uh,
grab that.
it is pretty nice. But yes, the other item is the best piece of preview merch we've ever gotten. I think
Yeah.
it is unique, it's fun, and it's not just for Fallout either. We
Nope.
have what is basically, you know how they've been doing those plastic like not frame, plastic like stand figures, and it'll be like just the logo for the event or whatever. They've been doing that for a few years now. Um, and I've never been interested, never cared. Well, this time it's like a frame, and it's that stained glass image with Halloween Horror Nights on it. Um, and at first, I had no idea what I was looking at. I was like, "Is it just like a little prop that you're gonna put on your desk?" And I thought above it was like an air freshener or something because there was just like a little ghoul inside of a plastic bag. I was like, "That's weird." Okay, and I realized, no, 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 that slides into one of the frame slots, and you are going to be able to collect one for different announcements. And there are 5 slots, meaning they're probably the 5 IPs. It's fucking cool.
Well, we
Mhm.
know it's the IPs because the receipt says it.
Oh,
It
does
says
it? I didn't
it
realize
says
that.
so I looked at my receipt today. It says IPER no, what it's HHN ERIP puzzle. So early release IP puzzle is what I assumed ER means. Or exclusive release, whatever it is, but it's called an IP puzzle.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. I agree. This is in my opinion the best merch they put out probably since like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And even then I think it's my favorite. Like the fact that we're going to get all the IPs on something which we don't normally get because there's at least one IP that doesn't want to play ball with the others. We get to make it ourselves. And I love that so much.
So good. And if it comes with every IP announcement that we get, it's literally we are adding them to the board the minute Halloween Horror Nights adds it to their board.
Mhm.
The minute it's on their website, we put it on our board. It's like Christmas, just you know, being able to open up the days till Halloween Horror Nights is kind of like that. We are doing something actively to participate in announcement season, kind of, and it's something you can put in your house and hang up. And once announcement season done, you get to be like, I was there for that. I was there when they were all announced, and here's my proof. That's how I got all of these items.
Yep.
Because I don't know how I don't know if Walton Goggins is going to be available much longer if he is a piece now. I don't know, right? Like I think they're not
So
going to be
I went
available.
today. I went today and I went into Five and Dime and there were no Ghoul Walton Goggins to put in. Only the frames were there. So I got the frame and I asked the merchandise team members there and I was like, so where's Mr. Gogg? And they were like, he does not exist over here anymore. We sold out very quickly. And they were told by higher ups that they were not getting any more. So they sent me over to the boutique at IOA and said that they had some, but there weren't a lot left. I walked in and there were only about 10 on the display. I grabbed him and I ran to the checkout and they said, well, you're lucky you got him because we have no more.
Whoa.
So it's only been, what, 4 days since the announcement?
Hmm.
Yep.
And he's already gone. So we were talking about it. I think that this is like just exclusive release merch and it's never going to come back. And that's what they were kind of saying too. So get your IPs when they release.
Yeah.
I I kind of like that though. I'm not gonna lie. I like that it's like
Mhm.
some fun exclusive, almost scavenger honey merch. Like you have to show up and get it when it's there
Yeah.
for
It's
each
kind of
one.
it's giving the what they sent out to media for Epic, the Chronos.
Hmm.
You had
It
to get the
is a
coins.
much cheaper version, but yeah,
Oh, we did it's $25 for the frame and $8 for the puzzle
individual
pieces.
piece. Yeah,
Cheaper than I thought it was gonna be. Like, I was thinking the pieces would be at least 13. I was not thinking 8.
and
Mhm.
Um,
honestly, I thought the frame would be more than 25. I thought it'd be like 30.
Same
Mhm.
for an acrylic frame, like, and it's got three. It's really nice. I really like it.
Hmm. It is a very
Really
nice
happy with
piece.
it. And now I know. I mean, we don't know because it's still rumored, but like for me, I'm gonna have a piece of HHN wall art that has WWE on it.
That is
That's
true.
really important to me.
Yeah.
It's true. Now, should we move on to our final confirmation, I guess we'll call it, that we have?
Yes.
Do we have to? I'm kidding.
I mean, yes, we do.
I'm kidding.
Well, Jonathan, you had the excitement, so you could take that one.
Yeah, I was literally in the middle of like working out. Like that's how it always happens. Whenever I'm at the gym or whatever, something happens and I have to stop whatever I'm doing and hurt all my progress every single time. Um, but like a video was posted about just the video of the IGN interview on IGN of them talking, and they transcribed it for the article, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. I just put it on. Was middle of, like working out, and was listening, and then I almost like dropped my weights down when the interviewer was like, "Can you tease any houses or any?" They said mazes, any mazes coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year, and John Murdy goes like, I don't know, Matt. I don't know. I'm thinking starts with an F. Matt's like number 5. Murdy's like, yeah, 5. And then Matt Flood goes, Five Nights at Freddy's. And then Murdy goes, yeah, that's right. I'm like, yo, they just fucking confirmed it's a house. On the video that they did not confirm in the article that it's the same thing, just transcribed. They did not add that part in the article. And before anyone says any shit, I promise that like this is cool because when they announced it, they said this will be a whole new way to experience FNAF. And we've said on our podcast many a times that it's 100% a house because of course it is. But there was a lot of people going, "Oh, could it be a VR thing? Could it be a scare zone? Could it be this? Could it be Dead Coconut? Could it be this, that?" Um, and there were a lot of people who did not know, especially a lot of people who follow us and whatever who are not Horror Nights people, who are Five Nights at Freddy's people. They don't know anything about any of this. And so I think them officially saying it's a house, or maze, same thing, is a big deal. Because now we have 2 houses confirmed for the event. Officially, we don't have to keep teetering around the, oh, it's a whole new way. We can stop talking about that, which is amazing. So yeah, FNAF is confirmed as a house based on the movie franchise. I think we all knew it was gonna be a house, right?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we all said it on the podcast
Yeah, we all knew.
and the lives. Yeah, it's not like it's a surprise to us. The bigger deal is that Horror Nights made a clear effort to not say house in the previous announcement, and now Matt Flood and John Murray just kind of blew that up.
Yep. And at the end of the day, like, something like this isn't gonna get a lot of traction because it's
No,
so
it's not. It's not.
so it doesn't matter. But I still don't think they'll ever say house on their press releases until or on whatever, if they ever mention FNAF again until it gets announced. But Murdy and Flood, they don't really care. They're just like, yeah, it's a house. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you,
Mhm.
man.
And now, outside of telling us it's a house, they also did go on to tell us a few more details about the house itself. Um, First of all, based on the movie franchise,
Interesting choice of words.
not just movie.
Oh, I didn't even register that.
Uh huh.
Wow.
Uh
Hmm.
huh. So, could we see some stuff from the second one, or are we reading way too much into his word choice? Not
Yeah.
sure. I guess we'll see. Um, I think the biggest news here, that's the most exciting for like the quality we'll see, is that both coasts are going to be working with Jim Henson's Creature Shop for these animatronics.
Good. They should be.
So that is very exciting because at least they're going to look good and feel real coming from that company.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's very exciting. So at least the fear of like, how can they execute these characters? They're gonna do it. They're gonna look good because they're teaming up with Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Whether or not they work scare factor, we don't know, but at least the quality of the product, of the characters and the look of them will be consistent with the film. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. I'm kind of approaching this as like I'm not expecting to get very scared, but because the Henson creature shop, god damn it, and like Horror Nights scene setting, like their scenic team, I'm excited just to experience it. This is probably going to be more like a fan fest experience for me than like a Horror Nights house. I hope not, but I'm a little more excited now because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they quote, "It's like living the movie." So, sounds a little book reporty, to be honest.
Yeah.
I expected that though.
Yeah, I don't know. You need to be original with this, to be honest. I don't know where else you would take it.
They were happy though when they got to say it because they're like, people been requesting this for I don't know how long. This property, they finally get to do it. Like it has to be a weight off their chest that they finally get to say, "Here you go, shut up now." Like please stop asking us to do this property. Here it is. That must feel nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like, yeah, shut up, take it, bastards.
They're gonna
Take your
make another one
animatronics.
now.
No.
I do wonder how much of a budget Hollywood has for animatronics because that's a lot this year.
Well, they got their animatronic guy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You're right.
Animatronic guy.
Animatronic guy.
Hey, it's me, Murdy's animatronic
Why
guy.
is everybody Chucky to you? Everybody turns into Chucky.
I
I
mean,
mean, who do you think made those
why not?
animatronics?
John Murdy in his house in Ireland.
Yeah. But actually, Duff and I brought up this point. Too, that could be why Hollywood's having 2 repeats this year. There's too much money
Mm,
for animatronics, and they gotta repeat Scarecrow, they gotta repeat Poltergeist, and that's probably why it's happening. It's always money when it comes to
yeah.
repeating stuff, and that's why you would have 2 full repeats. I mean, Poltergeist might get some upgrades, who knows? But Scarecrow, we know, is gonna be a copy and paste, so that's probably what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
So we won't dive too deep into our thoughts because there will be a full announcement eventually. We'll
Yep.
break down how we feel and when we have more details. But from the little bit we got, a little bit more yay on the FNAF side, or no?
A little bit more, yeah. I guess not really a yay. Just
Yeah,
yeah.
Sure. I
I
think.
guess
Go ahead.
I guess the word franchise makes me a little more excited if it's not reading too much into it, if they can use some characters from 2, because 2 seemed like it had some a little bit more scary characters in the trailers, and Jason Blum's mentioned 2 being a lot scarier than 1. So that does give me some hope along with the Jim Henson's Creature Shop. So like this was overall a positive for me. It didn't hurt anything. It just gave a little more, yeah, it could be a little better than maybe I thought it was gonna be. But like not that much better that it makes a difference?
Yeah, I think the only part I care about is Jim Henson's Creature Shop is making these animatronics. Again, like I said, we know they're going to look good. So I at least have that going for me because there was a possibility they'd look like shit. And
Yeah.
now I don't think that's
Yeah.
going to be the case. So at least I have that going for me no matter what. And that's all I got so far. That's my excitement level, I guess. Oh well, we'll learn more soon. But that's kind of it for the announcements, the merch, tickets, Fallout. Any last things you want to bring up about those before we start moseying our way out?
I'm excited.
Can't wait.
Mr. Gogg.
The Gog.
The
We
We
all
gonna
got
Gog.
have
that
that
Gog
Gog
in
in
us.
us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I do believe we have a voicemail though, don't we,
We
Jess?
do have a voicemail. Let's
Whoa.
let's hear who it's from.
Hello, 365 HHN. My name is Tanya. I'm calling from New York. I'm a fan of the podcast, more of a lurker online in terms of posting, but I just had to quickly drop a little note about today. It's June 5th. There's a lot going on online today that happened, but specifically in the HHN realm, with the Fallout announcement finally confirmed. Um, being a huge gamer and a huge fan of Fallout, I mirrored a lot of your concerns from the last podcast that you dropped, in terms of the show not being really horror related, and I was confused as much as you guys were. But after thinking about it, and thinking about the games and the show, the Fallout is also has a lot of dark humor. And I feel like maybe the house is going to go that route with, obviously, some horror elements they kind of hinted at. But the show and the game are very dark in humor. More dark than probably the darkest of the Bethesda properties in the games, between that and Elder Scrolls and Skyrim and stuff like that. So I could see the house going that route, similar to the original IPs like the Meaty Meats and the Carrie Drive-In and the Bugs House, where they kind of played with the dark humor and the creepiness and the goriness. I think they could do that with this house. That's how I feel like it's going to work. But what do you guys think, if you haven't already discussed this? But thanks again for the podcast. Can't wait to hear on your thoughts of now this information drop and any further information. Take care. Happy haunting.
Oh, thank you, Sonia. Appreciate you calling in. I know, especially it's kind of tough to go from lurker to like literally calling. Like, that's a big step, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so to that point, I think we still kind of have those concerns a bit, right? I think we made that a little clear. But you kind of on like the lines of Matt Flood, where there was a quote where he kind of really focused on how, what, this really could fit what they have, and the horror they have could really work for Horror Nights. So I guess, Matt Flood's on the same page with you. I don't know if I'm there yet. I might have to see it first to fully believe it, but to be seen, right?
Yeah. I feel like I've said it so many times, but I'm worried, but I'm optimistic.
Mhm.
Yeah. I do like the point Sonia made about dark humor, because that is something I do really enjoy in houses. Bugs, the Slaughter Cinema. The dark humor is something that I really like. So if the house does play into a lot of that, that could make it, even if it's not necessarily super scary, that could make it enjoyable to walk through as well. Just seeing the comedy sort of lace through that. I think I didn't even remember think about that, but yeah, it's definitely going to be present. Even the signs in the vault in the show that have the vault boy going like everything's okay when
Yeah.
everything is not okay is very, very funny. So just even seeing those details is going to make I think the house, if they go that route, which they probably will, a lot more enjoyable.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like the humor aspect of it. I never even thought that would be a part of the house, but I really hope it is.
It needs to be. Otherwise, it's not Fallout. It doesn't have the essence,
That's true.
especially the show, because that's really all the show has on that front.
Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah.
think, again, to reiterate, if I had any reason to believe this was based more off the games, I'd have a lot more faith it could work really well. It is solely because it's based off the TV show, and from what we saw in season 1, not as much to pick from as you would have if you used the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really want to hear your opinion once you go through the house. Now that you left with this voicemail,
Yeah.
and you know way more about the property than I
Definitely.
do. So
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So hopefully hear from you in September, October, whenever you
let
make it
us
down.
know.
No, but that is all we have for today's episode. So we're going to get going. As always, you can follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365. Our TikTok is HHN365pod. Check out our Discord, where you can discuss Halloween Horror Nights year-round. The link will be in the description. We have a merch shop at HHN365.com. And if you also want to join us on the show and leave us a voicemail, that number is 407-906-4134. And that is all for this week. and we will see you in the streets.